Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To speak on the underlining bill and the amendment.
Please proceed, lady.
Okay, so year 3, we've been around this block so many times, and I'm so tired and frustrated on this. So I knocked a lot of doors, said this in committee. I have a very good blue seat. Kansas City does not want this. They've made comments. They've all came and testified against legislation like this. Our mayor came and testified in opposition of this bill. Why? Because he knows it hurts people. One of the reasons why I fell in love with Kansas City was because of the diversity of that city. It's unique. They love each other. They don't care what you look like. They accept you. Our state's different. So we sit here and we have to listen to these bills over and over again. When I knocked the doors, I didn't knock in blue areas, and I wasn't talking to Democrats. I was talking to independent voters and Republicans. And what they said, the first question I asked them was, what is it that keeps you up at night? What are you concerned about? What makes you lose sleep? You know what they said? Unemployment, reproductive health care, rape, domestic abuse, not being able to afford childcare, and then losing their job, education, guns. Guns was on the topic of everybody's minds. Deathly afraid of sending their kids to school, thinking of different ways. How can we keep them out of the school? Because I don't want to get the phone call that there's a school shooting. All these things, they were worried about. The thing that I never heard was anything on attacks on trans kids. Not once. Whenever we have these hearings rooms fill up. We have additional hearing rooms because of the mass loads of people that come to testify in opposition of these bills. They're hurting. They tell us they're hurting. They tell us it's PTSD coming back here. They're afraid for their lives, but yet we don't listen. And we continue not to listen to them. They're not hurting their children. And you know what? I want to tell the families here today, because I see them up there in the chambers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to continue to come here to testify for the existence of your child. I'm sorry that you have to stand here to protect your kid and come here year after year because you all don't get the point. We don't want these bills. Nobody does. It is government overreach. I often stand here when we have some of these controversial issues going on, and I talk about my parents. Biggest reason why I talk about my parents is because I hope you all sit and think for a second. Because I grew up in areas where you live. I grew up in a very conservative white neighborhood in rural Kansas. My parents are not woke. They are white, conservative, Catholic members of their society. But yet they know that they stand true to what they believe in, which is love thy neighbor. And they will continue to love thy neighbor. My mom often watches us every once in a while, and she just doesn't understand why all this controversial issues on DEI and trans kids and the LGBTQI community. You know what her response was? We have to move along with the times. You accept them. They're human beings. And that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be wasting taxpayer money right now on things like this. We should be working for the people of Missouri.